Okay, I wanted to do a deeper dive on ACB. This is a weed stock that made a run here off the bottom of about 170-ish%. And I just wanted to go over some of the things I look at and document this so that I have this as a part of my playbook. My name is part of my playbook, but basically you had this and CGC were both running. And actually CGC made the bigger move, so I should probably do a video on that one too. ACB, let's go back to that. So you can see started back here with some volume. You're looking at the daily chart. Right, a big volume bottom bounce type breakout. Big buyers coming in here. You see this day closed at the highs in the volume. That's what this indicator down here said. This is volume down here, and then I have buyers is the green, sellers is the red. And then this is dollar volume here. And so you can see like when it's above the average, it's pretty clear that there's buying or selling. And let's see. I also have, kind of hard to see right now, but when there's like, let's see if I can find another. There's another indicator that I have on here too. There's a red and green line on there. So anyway, CGC, let's get back to that. CGC. No, ABC. Okay. ACB. There we go. All right, so it has this flag pattern here. It has a flag here and a flag here. So one of the things I always like to do with TC2000 is go back and look at longer term anchor VWAPs, especially on these type of moves that have been in like a steady downtrend, right? So if you look at it, I've already done the work on this. You attach the anchor VWAP here to this big volume day, and I color coded that pink. So when you switch to a daily chart, you can see that it is actually, I think it's higher up. Yeah, it's higher up here, but on a lower time frame, hourly, and looking at the 15-minute, it actually is here. Let me delete one too many anchor VWAPs here. So delete this one. Actually, this one here. So you have the pink and the white on the hourly. So this can get a little confusing, but if you're using it all the time, it starts to make sense to you. So let's look at a 5-minute. So here's that pink anchor VWAP going way back to several months. On a 5-minute chart, actually, you can see how it breaks out and then it holds that test out as support. So that is major support to me, and that's something I would definitely be keen off of. Now, I was trading other stuff at this time. So I did miss this move. I have traded a short, but if you go back, you can see how, I mean, look at how tight it got right along that. So if you were going to get in and you had this marked up in your chart, you know, you're in a squeeze, you're seeing buyers start to step in. You get buyers, strong buyers right here. Sellers are nowhere to be found. And this is kind of like, instead, I don't look at level 2 and I don't look at time sales, but this is kind of another way of looking at it. Here is what this indicator is. So, see, yeah, really tight. You could take a breakout here, start scaling in, and then it gets above this anchor VWAP from the initial move up here out of this flag. Where does it come back to? If you look at it, okay, makes the move on this day here on bigger volume. So there's really no volume here, volume dry up. And then you're getting massive volume. This day pulls back, the next day launches even higher on more volume. But let's look at that on 15-minute chart. So it's holding that pink line, actually hourly. That's where the hourly comes into play. So you can see the pink volume AVWAP is up higher. So it basically is pausing and it takes that out. So I'm looking at these anchor VWAPs as support resistance. And then I'm also looking at price and volume. I also have another setup with additional indicators that I look at. More intraday and more for timing. But where this is, was it the hourly? Yeah, really like the hourly chart as well. So that's why I have everything set up on a different layout here when I'm day trading, is looking at all these different time frames. It's harder to see. I'm on a smaller screen right now, but I'm able to see all these different time frames. And that's just telling me, is everything in alignment? Because if I'm just focusing on a 1 or 2 minute chart, it's easy to get lost in the weeds. But when you come up to the hourly, this is where things get interesting, right? So you have a big yellow, orange is, I have the price bars are color coded. Orange is a buy bar. Typically you'll see more at a start of a move, and white is basically a strong uptrend. Green is still an uptrend. Yellow is another buy bar signal. But you're also looking at down here, so how strong, like here, buyers are stepping in, but now sellers are starting to show up here, right here. And then you get a bigger selling candle. So that is a signal, but what happens after that? You get an inside bar. So you could take a move above that, but that really doesn't give you much to work with. Let's see, what day was this is Thursday, April 4th at 10 a.m. So that's the first bar. You're thinking, okay, maybe what's it going to do? Is it going to sell off? It's a broadening formation. This would have been a little bit tough. So this is where it starts to really kind of get a little bit wider and looser, and maybe you would have better luck trading this on a lower time frame. Let's go back. Right, so on a 5 minute, it opens up, and this is exactly why I have this set up on my charts. Look at this. Right, so it opens up here and sucks in the shorts, right? So it comes out of this kind of wedging up, squeeze formation, takes out all these people, takes out all these stops. Like, where does everyone have their stop? Right, so anyone that bought there, took them out, took out the past 3 hours of trading and test kind of closer to this anchor VWAP. But that definitely sucked in a lot of shorts. Then you get a yellow bar buy signal, so you get a turn here, and right there's your confirmation. Right, so taking out this high, and then you get a buy bar. So you could be in right there, and with a really tight stop. And look at this big volume right there. So sellers, they step in here, they take out the lows or the stops, then they disappear, and buyers start to step in. And that is, if you're catching this move, you could scale out here, get back in. I mean, that's a 20% move. Comes down here, holds VWAP. Okay, and then this is why I like to have multiple time frames I'm looking at. Because here you're getting a really, that's where I have this marked up. So you broke the longer term anchor VWAP here in pink. Then you have a turn. So you have a new high that fails, and then a turn. So this purple bars are sell signals, the way that I have them coded. And then so right here, a break of this low down through VWAP, that's a short. So you could have shorted it right there. But if you're long, that's a signal saying it's time that this move is probably over, time to get out. And then you had this huge yellow bar buy signal at the top of a move. But look at the dollar volume on that. It's $152 million volume. And the previous bar was a high of 65 million. So just insane volume, basically kind of like a little bit of a blow off top. But where does it come back to, right? So this is where, if I'm getting short, I'm probably getting short on a lower time frame. But I'm using these support and resistance levels as my guide, right? So that comes right down. I mean, how incredible is that? It comes right down to that anchor VWAP, the white from here, the breakout, and then this pink longer term, right? And then you get a buy signal, right? And where's it likely going to go? To this red anchor VWAP. So that is now resistance. So now it's between support and resistance. And what was I doing yesterday? I was shorting near this resistance here. So right now it's in kind of a tighter zone. We don't know which way it's going to go. If we look at it on a weekly time frame, we can see that it is pretty far off the highs, right? And it's forming an inside week, right? So I would also want to have these marked out. I want to get rid of some of this stuff. So that was more so for me screenshotting and adding that to my playbook. Let's delete, clean this up. So right now, it's got an inside week. And also has an inside day, so it's really getting tight. You have this huge sell-off here. You could probably move this to here. So it's more of a no man's land. It's flagging out. Could go either way, right? So if it breaks out above, you could also be prepared that it could go up and fake out. Could go down and fake out. So, but now we have some parameters set. So when we're on these smaller time frames, we kind of know what to look for. To me, I think if it can pop up here to this level and then start to show signs of like death candles and stuff like that, then I'm going to take it short. That's kind of my plan right now, because I think this move's probably over. If we look at CGC, this probably looks a little bit stronger, actually. It's holding up so far. Volume's kind of slowed down a little bit. Yeah, this looks okay. So we want to let the market tell us what to do. And that's the key to this. Is you saw some very clear signals, ACB, on the 5-minute, on the hourly, that told you, like, okay, this move is coming to an end. I mean, I think that this signal here was a warning right there. That purple bar was your first warning. But then it takes that out. It takes out this inside bar, makes a move up. But here is like that. That is a very clear signal. And then just this tight action, incredibly tight action along support. That's where you want to be buying. Getting in here, if you can start to buy these moves here, like once you see like, okay, this is a clear breakout on a daily time frame or a bigger time frame, you could bought here. I mean, these moves are, that alone, that's 15%. Right. So then, it comes back and tests that. But just with how tight that got, I think that's just like a 5-star setup. I don't know that they get much better than that. And then it's just a matter of like, how can you stay in the trade? So if you're getting in there, maybe you're going to take some off there, but then it breaks out. And then it comes back. So then you could plan to get back in here and try to ride it up as long as it's above VWAP or until you have the sell signal, and just decide on like what time frame that maybe, for me, like if I'm getting in on a 5-minute like that, then I'm probably going to just look for sell signals on a 5-minute. But then I might hold a piece. If, here we have a breakout, I might hold a piece and use the hourly for signals to get out on. So that's why I have these multiple time frames set up. But I'm usually selling into strength. And, this is my list for today. I'm usually selling into strength and then trying to get back in on a pullback. Not really holding too much overnight, more of a day trader. But right now, this is more of a mother bar. You'd want to see it clear above that if it's going to go long again, which I don't know that it's going to.